All right. Hey, it ain't nothing like giving a post-game 4 hours after the actual game ended, but here I am. Sorry for the delay. Something came up at the very, very last minute, and I was unable to be here at 4, but I'm back here at 8:15, and what does it really matter what time I show up? The Phillies 4-0 winners today over the New York Mets. Aaron Nola, Louisiana Lightning. Oh, well, I'm sorry, that's not Nola. That was Guidry. Gator Boy, whatever you want to call him. The Bayou Bastard, whatever he is. But definitely on display today, the magic that is Aaron Nola and why we signed him to that 7-year extension in the offseason. Went the distance, complete game shutout as he dominated the Mets. And he was definitely the story today for the fighting Phillies. No really sense in getting around it. Only gave up 4 hits. Doesn't get much gooder than what Aaron Nola did today for the Phillies, helping them out on the bump. And, of course, the offense for the Phillies struggled a little bit today. Yet another regular not able to go. Bryce Harper was a last-minute scratch to the lineup because of a migraine. So the offense was affected again. No JT once again as he sat out yet another day. But it didn't really matter because they did enough. Alec Boehm did enough. Kyle Schwarber coming back into the lineup did enough to assist the Phillies in their victory over the Mets 4-0, taking this short little 2-game first part of the home and home. That's their 9th series win of the year, by the way, and also their 10th win of the month of May. 10 wins so far for the month of May. Folks, they had 10 wins all of last May, and they've now tied that halfway through the month. So the great start continues for the Phillies in 2024. 4-0 winners today over the New York Mets. And before we get deeper into this, I want to remind everybody out there that's tuned in that this show is brought to you in part by Cherry Injury Law, Cherry's Tickets, the Streetlight Kitchen and Bar, Dolan's, and Philly Sports Trips. So make sure that you check out everything that our sponsors have to offer, and they have a bunch to offer. Let's jump right into this right off the bat. Should we? Shout out for Nola, Chris, absolutely 100%. Gooder, yeah, that's right. Can't get much gooder, Andrew, than what than Aaron Aaron Nola did today for the Phillies as he put him on his back today. Once again, down key members of our starting lineup. No JT, no Bryce, still no Trey, and he put the team on his back today, and he pitched them to a victory. Simply put, to a victory. It was Aaron Nola. That's all you need to know about today. I feel Boehm is the best offensive player on the Phillies. He's the most clutch offensive player on the Phillies, Bruce. I'll give you that. For a team that's stacked with these offensive superstars, with the kind of money they're getting, it's interesting that Alec Boehm is leading the way there. I think he's the most clutch offensive player here in the early going. Let's hope again. I caveat everything by saying let's make sure that we can keep this thing moving forward. But Alec Boehm, absolutely, and a homegrown talent, right? I mean, doesn't get any more gooder than that, right, Bruce? A homegrown Philly prospect is leading the way offensively, and it's great to see. But I will give you that he's the most clutch offensive player so far in 2024. Boehm getting hit by the pitch 2 days in a row. Yep, taking one for the team twice in a row. That one last night, man, that was nasty, boy. Right on the finger. Woo, man, that had to hurt. I feel Turner and Bryce are extremely good, but Alec? Or Alex? There's no Alex, but I guess you're talking about Alec. No, I'm not gonna go there. I'm not. I think Alec Boehm is rounding his way into himself as a baseball player, as a Major League Baseball player. I mean, this is his 3rd full season, or 4th full season. What do you count the? He came in COVID, right? Did he show up in the COVID year 20? Was that his first year? 2020 was his first year. I mean, he's still kind of figuring his way out into this. So you can't take away what Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, JT, and all those guys have already accomplished offensively and what they are offensively. I'm not trying to get in an argument with you over this. Alec Boehm has been clutch, certainly the most clutch player this year. But the best offensive on this team, I mean, that's pretty hard, with this type of team. Is he the best offensive player on a lot of Major League Baseball teams? I will give you that. But right now, he's definitely the most clutch here for the Phillies. Gotta love 1 p.m. games I can't watch because I'm at work. Yeah, Andrew, I know. I was actually watching the game. I don't have a day job per se. I'm a partially retired person. I served 30 years in the military, so I retired about 4 years ago. So I kind of dink and dunk around my days. I have an afternoon job, and I work, but it's not like real steady. I'm not a schmo anymore like you guys, and so I have opportunities to watch 1 p.m. games. So today was a treat for me. A 1 p.m. Tuesday game. Typically, I'm staring at the wall at 1 p.m. on a Tuesday, or working with EOP stuff, and I got me away from all that. So I'm going to take the 1 p.m. Tuesday start for the benefit of that it served me. But then I had to leave last minute to go work in my afternoon job. So that's why I couldn't give you the post game right at 4. But here I am. I'm back right now. But yeah, I know it kind of threw a wrench into a lot of people's schedules. You can blame London for that one, right? Right, Andrew? You can blame London, England for that. If we were this dominant now, imagine what we will be with our players back. Chris, listen, it's all clicking. It's all clicking right now. I'll give you that, man. But it's May, goddamn it. It's May. We have literally what I saw the EOP thing. Did you guys check that thing out on Facebook? The Phillies magic number going into today was 121. So let's kind of put some of this in perspective. They're dominant, yeah. They got a lot of 93 Phillies vibes, yeah. All right, but if you guys remember 93, it wasn't all cherries, sunshine, and roses that entire season. They did have competition. They did struggle. They did dip. And the Phillies, this team will dip too. Let's not say the word dominant. They're hot, man. They're red hot. But when you're in a 162-game baseball season, dominant to me would be 140-20 on the season. That's dominant. Really good is what, 50 losses, 60 losses, maybe 65 losses. That's where typically you're going to be at. But if you're a really good team, I'm staying away from the dominant stuff. I am in May. Let's talk domination in October there, Chris. Then we'll talk. But I'm staying away from the D word in May. How's that? Hello. Andrew Bryce scoring more at the house than on the field. Ha ha. Yeah, he seems to be dealing with some things, huh? A lot of time off. Well, awesome game. Yes, it was, Jeff. It was a very good game. Let's take one more, and we're going to move on to the box score. Star Wars says first team to 30 wins. Absolutely, 30-13 and 10 wins so far in the month of May. That ties what they had all of May last year in 10 wins. They were 10-16 in the month. They are already at 10 wins. Definitely keeping that domination, I'm saying it, keeping that red hot start going. Let's head over to the box score because that's what we do here on the program. Let's zap over to it right now, and there it is up there on the big screen. Phillies would finish the day with 4 runs on 7 hits, no runs, met no runs because of a complete game shut up by Aaron Nola. No runs, 4 hits, and no errors. Offensively, I mentioned it a little bit, and let's get a little bit to more detail. Kyle Schwarber was 1 for 3 on the day, but he did score 2 runs, and he did walk twice, so he found his way on base, and he's batting .218. When was the last time Kyle Schwarber was batting .218 in the month of May? He had a lot of quality at bats today. He had that nice little hit down the line there, that little double, that kind of hugged the line. That was a real nice hit. A productive day at the plate for Kyle Schwarber when we needed him with JT and Bryce Harper still out of the lineup, and of course Trey Turner still out of the lineup. You're going to need Kyle Schwarber to kind of step it up, and today he did. Castellanos was 1 for 4 with a strikeout, still trying to kind of figure that himself out. Bryson Stott 1 for 2 with an RBI. He also walked 3 times, so he found his way on base 4 times today. Again, that's what you got to do, man. You got to find ways, and you got to have to step up. And today, some of the players that needed to did. Bohm was 2 for 4 as he continues his dominance, the 2 RBIs. Brandon Marsh was 1 for 4. Whit Merrifield struggling at 0 for 4. Cody Clemens 0 for 4. Rojas went 1 for 4, but it was a good hit. And Garrett, why are you in my lineup? Or let's be more appropriate, why are you on my baseball team? Stubbs 0 for 4 as his average now dips down to 118. On the Mets side, Brandon Nimmo was 0 for 4. There's going to be a lot of this talking about. Sterling Marte was the best Met offensive producer today. He accounted for 2 or half, literally, of the Mets' hits. as he had 2 hits. Lindor 0 for 4. Pete Alonso, this was the best part of my day today. Watching Pete Alonso be completely frustrated at the bat. A strikeout, grounded into a double play. Pete Alonso looked hapless out there today, and I was loving every minute of it. J.D. Martinez 0 for 3. Brett Beatty 0 for 2, or 0 for 3. Taylor was 1 for 3. Wendell was 0 for 3, and 0 and 0 and 0 and 0 and on and on and on, as the Mets were completely stymied offensively by Aaron Nola. Pitching-wise, Nola, 9 innings, the complete game, shutout, 4 hits, no runs, no earned runs, struck out 8, and did not walk a single soul. One of the more dominant performances, I can say dominant in terms of performance by an individual player, one of Aaron Nola's most dominant performances I've seen in a while, maybe a long while, but everything was working for him today. On the Mets side, and of course Nola gets the win, his 5th. Buto suffers the loss, his 3rd. He went 5, gave up a hit, 2 runs. They were earned, 4 strikeouts and 4 walks. Ramirez, Jake Dinkman, man, I didn't know he was still around. Lopez and Reed Foley would pitch as well for the Mets in a losing cause. Again, you know what? The Mets pitched well. You know, they pitched okay. They pitched good enough. But again, Aaron Nola just was not letting nothing through. So, the Mets are a little snake bit there, but again, that's a good thing. And I noticed a couple things too over the last 2 nights. The takeover of Citi Field. Have you guys noticed that? All the Phillies fans at Citi Field? Good for you. Good for you. Let's turn the tide on this. Let's take that back. Next is working on, taking over Madison Square Garden for the Rangers. But that was a good start today. Taking over Citi Field over these last 2 games. Very good for Phillies fans. Keep up the good work. The Phillies did leave 11 runners on base today and were a paltry 3 for 13 with runners in scoring position. So if you want to look at something negative, the Phillies had ample opportunities to make this a bigger score than 4-0, but they were unable to do it. Leaving 11 runners on base and going 3 for 13 with runners in scoring position is not good. But again, when you had a pitching performance like Aaron Nola backing you up, what else do you need? The Mets only left 3 runners on base because they only had 4 hits, and they were 1 for 3 with runners in scoring position. Or how could they be 1 for 3 with no runs? I don't think that's right. Yeah, I don't know why they're saying it's 0 for 3. I don't know why it says 1 for 3 because they didn't score any runs. How could they have had runners in scoring position and scored? But there you go. There's the Phillies and Mets box score. That portion of the program was brought to you by the Cherry Injury Law Group. If you have workman's compensation questions, motor vehicle accidents, or personal injury, give Dave a call at 610-565-0300 at www.cherryinjurylaw.com, and he will take care of all your needs. And don't forget our specific sponsor for the Fight and Smile, the Streetlight Kitchen and Bar at the Drexel Hill Holiday Inn and Suites at the Delbrick Event Center at 5400 Fern Boulevard in Drexel Hill, PA. Breakfast, brunch, happy hour, dinner, drinks, everything you can imagine in a very, very cool setting that they have over there. Make sure you head over there. Tell them that the boys at the Fight and Smile sent you, because they'll take great care of you. They'll take great care of you anyway, but they'll take extra special care of you if you mention us. Let's go back to this. Brad says, hey, checking. How about Aaron Nola on the shutout today against the Nets? Was beautiful, Brad. 100% beautiful. Any updates on Realmuto and Trey Turner? No, Trey is continuing. I believe he was running. He's taking light jogging in the outfield. He's still with the team, and that's a good thing. I think this is really one of those nagging type day-to-day type injuries that it's just going to work itself out when it works itself out. But it was good to see and hear that he's still being active on the field. He's taking light calisthenics. He's doing some light work out there to kind of keep loose and try to rebuild some of that stamina. As far as Realmuto, no. And that's the more scary injury for me, because we have no catcher depth on this team or in this organization right now. We have nobody that's able to come up from AAA and really be a viable option. And Garrett Stubbs, boy, is not doing it for me. If Garrett Stubbs is named our starter, even for a week, I'm gonna blow my brains out, because that's not gonna work for me, man. And I'm a little bit more concerned about the JT thing than I am Trey. There's a little bit more depth where Trey is concerned. There's no depth behind JT Realmuto. That's because we traded Logan O'Hoppe, right? Remember that name? Logan O'Hoppe? Yeah, that would be a really good piece right now to have on this baseball team instead of Garrett. Why are you on my baseball team, Stubbs? For all you Logan O'Hoppe forget-abouters who don't remember who this kid was, check out his stats with the Angels right now. He'd be real nice in this situation with JT down and no real understanding of what's going on here. So, but yeah, that's a little bit more concerning to me. Chris says the Braves are up 2-0 on the Cubs now, bottom of the fourth. Yeah, let's go Cubbies. Ranger danger tomorrow. Yep, going for his 8th win of the season as they will resume this this back end of the home and home at Citizen Bank Park tomorrow. Just to give you that right now, I can. 6:40 start tomorrow at the bank. Jose Quintana going for the Mets, and the aforementioned Ranger Suarez looking for win number 8 going for the Phillies. So make sure you're tuned in to the game or at the game or, doing what you got to do to support this team. And remember, right after the game, we got you covered here on the Fighting's Final. Tomorrow night, Pat, well, he'll take you, and then Mike will close things out on Thursday. And then, of course, we got the Nationals rolling in right behind the Mets, and we got you covered there too. So make sure you're tuned in. Crush that like and subscribe button so you know exactly when the Fighting's Final will be going on the air, because of days like today, right? It was scheduled for 4, then I changed it to 10, and then I changed it back here to 8, and there you all are. That's because you've subscribed, liked, and activated that notification thing. That's why you're all here, because you did that, and that's smart, and I'm very happy. Let's head over to the phone. Okie dokie. The Broad Street Bottom Line today on the Fighting's Final is brought to you by Dolan's Bar at 24 East Sellers Ave in Ridley Park, PA. Make sure you're circling this date on your calendar, May 25th, for the Dolan's Wiffle Ball Mania Spring Classic with Mickey Morandini and John Kruk. A must-attend event for any of you aficionados of wiffle ball. And check those guys out. Try to do their wiffle ball thing. It's probably going to be funny. But make sure you're heading over to Dolan's on May 25th. And make sure you head over to Dolan's anyway, because you never know who might fall through the front door or what Philadelphia sports celebrity or celebrity might come through the door over at Dolan's. All right, my Broad Street Bottom Line, pure and simple. It does not have to get any more deeper than this. It's got to be Aaron Nola. I mean, when you go 9 innings, when you dominate like you did on the bump today, when you keep the Mets off balance, or any baseball team off balance the way you did today, when you give your offense the opportunity to score 1 run, and that's all it needed to be, that is a great day. And there's nothing else that needs to be talked about. I heard on the broadcast that Nola and Suarez are the only 2 pitchers in Major League Baseball that have pitched through the 8th inning, have gone 8+ innings all season long. And Suarez did it once, and Nola now has done it twice. In this era of pitch counts, in this era of all that, to see what Nola was able to do today, it was great. He's kind of, been in and out with some of his starts. It hasn't been vintage Nola. It hasn't been bad Nola. It's been that frustrating Nola where he kind of dominates and then he loses it. It's that I'm going through the first time through the lineup, I'm going to mow them all down, and then the second time through the lineup, I'm going to get tagged for a few, and then kind of go from there. The pitch count goes up, and then things just kind of spiral out of control. But he had a 3-pitch. What was it? The 8th inning, a 3-pitch 8th inning, and he was done. I mean, that's everything. That's your stuff working, and it was great to see. So Aaron Nola, by far and away, is my Broad Street Bottom Line. And today he was the difference. He was all the difference that the Phillies needed. And a truly epic performance by him, justifying all that money that the Phillies signed him for. So Aaron Nola is my Broad Street Bottom Line. And then let's now head, because of when I'm here, we got a lot of baseball games already ongoing. So let's not waste any more time, and let's head around the bases. All right, around the bases, and here we go. In the 10th inning right now, it is a top of the 10th. It is 0-0. Marlins and Tigers in a barn burner out in Motown, as they're that must damn boring game to watch. Top of the 6th, it is 3-2 Boston over the I almost said Devil Rays, over the Rays. In the bottom of the 4th, it is 7-0 now. By the way, 7-0 now. Braves over the Cubs as they extended their lead. Not good news for the Phillies. Come on, Cubbies, let's go. Get back in this thing. In the bottom of the third, it's 3-1 Yankees over the Twins. Bottom of the third, it's 4-0 Brewers over the Pirates. Top of the second, it is 0-0 Rangers and Indians. That's right. Their mama named them the Indians. I'm calling them the Indians. And the top of the third, it's 0-0 White Sox against the Nationals. In the top of the second, it's 0-0 Astros A's. A little bit later on tonight, 9:30 start, Cardinals and Angels. 9:40 Reds and Diamondbacks. 9:40 Rockies and Padres. 9:40 Royals and Mariners. 9:45 Dodgers and Giants. Games that have gone final. The Nationals, who are sneakily having a very good season at 20-20 now, defeat the White Sox 6-3, and the Blue Jays and Orioles were rained out in Baltimore. And of course, the Phillies went 4-0 winners today over the New York Mets, pushing their record now to 30-13. And then we'll get ready for the Mets to come back to Philly tomorrow to finish up the home and home 2-4-game series, whatever it is. Chris Moore says 7-4 against the NL East. Yep, they are 7-4, as they have not really had much work against the NL East. I've been heading into the last 2 weeks, which was, of course, Marlins on the weekend, and then New York now, and then the Nationals this weekend. We've had 1 or 2 series. We had the Braves and Nationals. So not much of a sample size against their own division, but now we're getting that little dose of the NL East, and we're doing what we got to do there too. We're winning the games against those NL East opponents that the tiebreakers all matter against. When it comes down to crowning a divisional champion, if you're tied or whatever, you look at the division records, you look at the head-to-head, and those are the things the Phillies need to do. So again, it's a hot, great start. It really is, and I couldn't be happier for the Phillies. There are problems on this baseball team, right? There are. I shouldn't say there are problems. There's concerns, and there's always going to be concerns through a season. The bullpen that's not a finished product. It can't be, and I think it has to be still addressed. The injuries are starting to get a little bit concerning right now. One thing that the Phillies have not really been over the last 2 seasons since we've started this magical run in 2022 has been hurt, and this is the first year really I can remember of it being a problem. Like when it's starting now to crop up with multiple players missing time. The depth of this team is being tested, and so far, so good. But how much more of a test do we need to be tested against, especially in the position of catcher? We're not deep there at all. Garrett Stubbs is not the answer going forward. So all's good, but we gotta keep perspective, take this thing one game at a time, and hopefully it works out. But you can't be but happy about the way this team has played and about the outcome of these games. 30-13 ain't nothing to shake a stick at. 10-2 in the month of May is outstanding. And let's keep the train rolling, man. And because we got to stack these W's. We got to stack the W's. And we got to get ready for those dog days when things are not going to go our way. And we got to have like a cushion of wins there. But so far, so good. And remember, so far, so good. Check out Philly Sports Trips, right? If you want to go on trips that represent your baseball, football, hockey, and basketball team and travel with like-minded individuals and have a blast in some great cities around America, look at Philly Sports Trips for all they have to offer. The Baltimore trip this summer. They're heading to Chicago as well over Independence Weekend. I believe they're going to Boston. I've seen a couple things and contradicting, but I think they're going to Boston. I know they're going to London. And I know tomorrow night, when the big time schedule release is announced and the Eagles' road schedule comes out, it'll probably be around midnight tomorrow night when Philly Sports Trips will release their trips for the upcoming Eagles season. So make sure you're checked in and checking in often with Philly Sports Trips to make sure you're keeping up to date with what they got coming out. And don't forget, once you're done traveling like the pros and you want to catch some local stuff, then head over to Sherry's Tickets, right? www.sherrytickets.com. Family owned and operated since 1946. Great prices, no hidden fees. What you see is what you pay. And of course, you're going to save an additional 10% when you enter the promo code EOP10. That's Sherry's Tickets at sherryticketstown.com. And then one last time, the good folks over at the Streetlight Kitchen and Bar, 5400 Fern Boulevard in Drexel Hill, Pennsylvania, at the Holiday Inn Suites at the Drexel Brook Event Center. Make sure you give the good folks over there a check out. Try them out. We were there over the weekend. We were there back in April. I'm sure we're going to be coming back in June, and I cannot wait. For Live at the Streetlight in the postseason. That's going to be a party. So we're gearing up for all that great stuff. And then also tomorrow when the Phillies resume their 4-game set against the Mets, make sure you're tuning right back here on the Fightins Final. Pat will have you tomorrow night, and Mike will take you on Thursday, and then we'll get the Nationals in here and take care of that too. So that's going to wrap me up tonight, folks. 4-0 Phillies winners, 30-13. The red hot start continues. Let's keep it going tomorrow as it will be Ranger Suarez against Jose Quintana, 6:40 at the bank. Until we talk later, go Phils.